know, rah, 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 here's your life jackets, rah, rah, rah. We're out sailing, blue sky, Trump flag flying, we've got the emergency station on. 4 more years, Trump 2020! 4 more years. On the emergency channel, Coast Guard in the Bay in San Diego, someone had seen the flag and done an illegal act to support Trump. It was so weird, it was so right. I love that. Like, the guy who owned the yacht was like, I thought we were going to like get bombed out of the sea or something, and then the Coast Guard came on and went, this is an emergency channel.
No.
It's the greatest thing, but I just mean, things like that I think happen for a reason. I think we're all here for a reason. This is a tough time to be alive. We spend a lot of time feeling lonely or on our own. We're not on our own.
No.
We're supposed to be here right now. I believe this is the greatest time to be alive.
Yes.
And I believe if the Brexit parallels are true and the British parallels are true, people aren't going to just vote Trump because they believe in Trump. They're going to vote Trump because it's the right thing to do for this country. Thank you all for listening to me. God bless you. I'm going to come and grab my drink and then I'm going to do questions. But otherwise my mouth might stop drying out. Does anybody have a question? I'll come back to that. Yeah.
Just really quickly, I don't know. What is your take on Tommy Robinson and what's going on with this country? Is he, do you know him?
There's a question about Tommy Robinson.
So Tommy Robinson, if anybody wants to go and get more food, like go and get, like don't like feel like you have to be like polite or anything.
No.
Oh, okay, good. Tommy Robinson, I know him well. I went to visit him in Belmarsh Prison, which is our maximum security prison. Tommy Robinson was thrown into Belmarsh for the crime of repeating information that was already in the public domain. He said names of majority Pakistani Muslim paedophiles who had abused our young children. And for the crime of repeating information that was already on the BBC, he was taken off the streets and thrown in prison without due process. Now later there was an appeal, he was brought back out, of course they retried it and of course they found that he was guilty and he did need to go back to prison. No one in the history of ever has ever been put into prison for contempt of court, which is what the charge was. No one has ever. They've only ever been received a fine, or their employer may have received a fine. Tom Robinson is the first person to be locked up for repeating information that was already out there. Not only that, he was locked up in the maximum security prison. Belmarsh is not in a good place. It's in Woolwich, which is the town where our lovely soldier was, Lee Rigby, had his head chopped off by Michael Adebolaje in the streets. So I went there. As I walked through Woolwich, this big black guy said to me, "Oh, a little bit diverse around here for you, Hopkins." I was like, "Yes, it is now I've arrived, isn't it? I'm the only white in the village." But Belmarsh is a tough prison. Tommy the funny story on Tommy is that he wasn't allowed any, well, he was in solitary, that's not funny. Wasn't allowed any blades, obviously, no ability to have haircuts or to shave. So when I went to see him, unlike how I know him, he had this huge Robinson Crusoe goddamn beard and this huge hair, like his hair just goes straight up. I've never seen hair like it. My hair grows down, his grows up. I was like, "Tommy, I'm really struggling to find you as a white nationalist and you look like a vegan. Like, I'm really struggling with this." But he was okay, but I have to say, mentally, the effect of being locked up on your own for all that time, because he had to be in order that the Muslims wouldn't kill him, because the Muslims control our prisons. He said to me, and he's honest with me, is that he's finding it hard to hear his own voice.
Yes.
And the sound of his own voice was strange to him, to the point he couldn't speak, because it was strange for him to hear something in his own space. And he had tried, he told me this thing about, he tried to go into a store when he got out to get a phone. And he walked into the mobile phone store 3 times to try to ask the guy for a phone, but he couldn't make himself do it because his voice sounded too... I'm just trying to give an impression of the mental stress that happens to a man who's supposed to be a father, who has a wife and children. And so they did that to him. And if I'm honest with you, the only place I ever talk about Tom is here. In the UK, he's a non-person. He's as if he's dead. No one can speak his name. The media have an agreement, they don't use his name, they don't report anything on him. He doesn't exist, and now they've come for him, his home. They've created a law, so he will lose his family home as well. He's a ghost walking the earth. And a little bit more dark, I suppose. I was speaking about grooming gangs the other day, rape squads, sorry. And I was speaking about we have a police officer from West Yorkshire Police, the ones that took Tommy. A police officer he's on charge, he's been alleged with sexually abusing a young child. That's a police officer inside that force. I was talking about that, and in the night, about 8 o'clock at night, I wasn't there. My husband went out to do a swim run and dropped one of my children at a swimming thing. And in the night, the police came to the door of the house I don't own. I don't own anything in the UK. I can't anymore. They knocked on the door when they knew no one was home. 2 plainclothes men questioned my children and asked for my children's phones to get my details. And the threat and the message was that if I carry on speaking out about this rape squads, they will pursue contempt of court charges against me. And that's the same judge that put Tommy Robinson aside. So the threat is real and it's present. And to the idea that you can send 2 men without a uniform to a home and knock on a door and ask your 7-year-old, your 11-year-old for their phones, that my children were confused. Like, they know me as mum. They don't know me as this. They just know me as mum. So that's the threat we are under. But Tommy Robinson, he's disappeared from all. He's invisible. He's a ghost and invisible for speaking out. So any other question? Yes.
Follow up on that.
Yes.
And the way that the UK is going, and you're saying maybe
Louder.
minority. What are the chances that people like you, Tommy, could immigrate here and just stay here and help us, turn back to what's happened here?
So that's kind of the plan. Why do I move here? Why do I come here? Can I come here? I can't. I will be here for most of 2020. And not necessarily in LA, obviously, but in the swing states, in places where I can physically recruit, by violence if I have to, just like I did here at the front desk, people that will come with us, people who are available, who could accept our position, who love their families. I'm going to bring them in swing states for 2020. But in my heart and in my kind of more military, I'll fight for my country to the end, I'm obliged morally to stay. I get lots of emails, conversations from elderly who say that they're glad that their time is nearly up so they don't have to see their country fall. And for many people who know that the work I'm doing it because it helps us all feel a little bit braver every day, and we need to look after people. So I will stay till the end, whenever my end is. And my end could be sooner. I don't know where my end is, but I certainly have a fatwa against me. I'm on the target list. But I believe this fight is bigger than that. I believe I've been given this time for a reason. I got cured from my epilepsy, and I believe I'm all in. So for me, I'm there till the end, and then one day maybe here. But I think one of the interesting things is how we are all on the move. My Jewish friends to Israel, Christian families looking to Poland, and look what's happening here in America. Oh, I'm going to go to Idaho. Oh, I'm going to go to Arizona. Oh, I'm going to go to Texas. I'm going to go to Florida. Okay, what happens when those places run out? Where's next after those places? Because at some point, we're going to have to make a stand. And if we lose Trump after 4 more years and Democrats get in, that's going to be the new conversation here, is where are we going to pull back to defend space? That's what South Africans are doing, pull back to defendable space. In time, many of these states will become defendable territory, as in the old times. I believe. And it's why I was so proud of your good people. I wish I was there. Your good people in Virginia. Oh my God, come on, I was married all of them. I mean, just watching them, so proud of them, watching their discipline, their self-discipline, watching people sent there to antagonize them, them removing themselves, challenging, filming, just all the tactics we need to be street level warriors in this fight. And the reason you have your First Amendment, the reason you haven't got someone knocking at the door frightening your children, is because of your Second Amendment. And the minute they can get that away, your First Amendment is also gone. Exactly, and that's your front line, and it's the reason you have America still, in my view. Exactly. And I love the fact that the more the Democrats try and take a weapon, someone, a Republican somewhere, buys another 10. They tell me this all the time. They're like, you know what they do when they start doing this stuff? I go buy another 10 like this. I was at an event the other day and they went around the table and this guy goes, well, I've got 15. And this guy goes, how many have you got, Bob? Well, I've got 24. How many have you got, Brian? Well, you mean aside from the cannons? Aside from the cannons?
They say that the greatest gun salesman in the history of the United States was Barack Obama.
Oh, such the
So,
truth.
you know, that's what
So
they
the
say.
truth bit. And I went to Morocco. I'll come to you, Mike. Put your hand up. I'll come to you. And Morocco resorts, and I was doing a tour there, and there was like a raffle, a draw you had, and I was supposed to then give out the prizes or whatever. Like where I come from, like a raffle draw prize is like a crap bottle of wine that no one wanted, or some like nasty soap or talc combo, you know. Yeah, what did I give out at the Morongo resort?
Firearm.
2 AK-15s. Like I was the most excited raffle prize giver in the history of Bangkok. Yes, you wanted to ask a question.
So I had said, celebrating with you that the United Kingdom is leaving the European Union, and so I wanted to ask you, who's next in your view, and why do you think which member states are leaving next?
Yeah, so who's leaving the EU next? Crucially, the 27th of January, so a couple of days' time, in Italy, their version of California, their London, their liberal heartland, has voted communist all since the beginning of time. It looks like it might go to Salvini and our people. That is in 3 days. If that happens, that is the earthquake in Italy. That is the moment we know Salvini is going to be in, and then that will be the exit from the EU.
27th of January.
27th of January in Italy, in a particular region of Italy that has always been a hard left. Looks like it might go with Salvini, and that will be a moment.
Which region?
I will give you the name. I don't want to press
And I have to ask,
myself.
how do you feel about the Brexit deal so far?
Yeah, so we're
Because
not-
Farage has issues.
Yeah, we're not near. So the Farage story is twofold. Farage, without Farage, we don't have Brexit. We wouldn't have had Brexit. Brexit would never have happened. We owe Farage everything in that regard. However, from a diplomatic and moving forwards alliance with America, it's all about Boris Johnson.
Yes.
And Boris Johnson doesn't really want anything to do with Farage because it's seen as too chaos, mayhem, of the right, all that. So what we really need to push for is Boris and Trump together.
Sure.
That's really, really key. And that's how we're going to get this trade deal with America that will bring us closer together. And to have Boris and Trump together on the lawn is going to be amazing. But yeah, the other countries are going to follow, and Poland and Hungary are taking no messing at all. They never have, they never will, they really don't care. They're going to go alone. One day it will be from Eastern Europe that we bring back our Christian culture.
Yes.
One day.
Yeah.
So what do you call the Prince of Harry?
Oh,
Yeah, what is the
what do I think of Prince Harry? I will pick that up with you after because we did do that at the front. end.
Yes.
I don't want to bore these good people. So let me tell you after. Let me tell you after.
Son.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yes, ma'am.
You said that you cannot own property.
Yes.
That was my question.
What was the question?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I throw that in
You
there
can't
like a
own
sheep
property.
thing. So I don't own anything. Sorry, darling.
There's reasons she cannot own anything.
My God.
Are you going to vote Trump? Are you Republican or Democrat?
He doesn't know that.
Who do you vote for?
Who are you gonna vote for?
I don't think he speaks English.
I don't think you speak to
Yeah. Never ever going to cross my path again.
Oh no!
Okay, so that's the way to terrify ways. If you don't want them to go in front of you when you're talking, that's how to do it. Oh, hold on a second. I've got to answer a different one that was asked. I've forgotten.
Why can't
House.
you own things?
So
Property.
sorry.
Property.
This is what happens, right, in life. You're taking something to a cupboard and then you forget where you were going, right?
It doesn't get any better.
Through my life, I get up the stairs, don't even know why I went up the stairs. So, why don't I have a house? So I used to have a house. I bought the house. I walked in it and I went, this is our house. And I rang my husband later in the day and went, I bought a house. And we had already had houses, but this house was, I knew it was our house. It was an old house, 200 years old. I loved it. And it was one of those houses that's protected because it's special. So that's my home. But as I became more and more known, I had my national column, I had a national radio show on a Sunday, my opinions became more known, became more and more kind of a face that people recognized. And in turn, I became much more of a target. And as I began to speak out more honestly, I wouldn't say what I was told to say, I wouldn't toe the editor's lie. I had to tell my truth because I'm morally obliged to. Obviously, I was fired from everything. I was fired from my jobs. I lost my radio show, even though it was the most listened to radio show. I lost my column in the newspaper. And then they came for the kids. So they report me to social services as a bad mother. And social services have to come and check up on your children, which is absolutely correct. If there's a report, they have to check. It's good. But there's other children out there who need help more than maybe my kids. Then they came for my house. So they created a new law, like they did for Tommy in a different way, but a new law just for me where maybe at some point in the past I had said, well, I don't think maroon or red tops are very good, right? And so now you could say that caused me serious harm, right? They created a new law that made that true. That you would only have to perceive that I seriously harmed you with that comment for you to sue me. You sued me and you won, and I was told to pay you. I also had all the court costs of that, but worse than that, it meant that you now decided, oh, hold on, if she got that, I could get that, and you said that too, and you, and suddenly I had 24 court cases against me, which I needed to settle at $30,000 to $40,000 a time. And so in order to rectify that situation and not owe people money and not create, I've never owed anyone anything, apart from my life. But I went into a system called an IVA where I had to give away my home and make myself without anything. I don't own anything and I can't have my name on a property. As a sidebar to that, one night, in the middle of the night in my home, a team of men came all dressed in black. They fit up my home with panic alarms. They made it so that my phone, all I had to do would be to run to my phone and drop it, and the police would come. And they put a black box like this at the top of my house, 3 floors, and they told me all I had to do if anybody broke in to kill me would be to run to the top of my house and shake the black box, and they would come. And it turned out there was a plot to behead me with 2 jihadis. As a wedding gift, the wife wanted my head.
Wow.
And they practiced with a shock dummy and a hunting knife, so there was evidence, and that threat was imminent. And they're now in prison, but that was the threat against my life. And then finally, the British government commissioned a play that you can Google, called The Assassination of Katie Hopkins. And those billboards went up around the country. They're still available now, actually. And it was, the leftists thought it was a jolly ruse and an interesting portrayal of life on social media. But anyway, so I'm just giving you a little insight into the lengths they go to and why I'm so proud of the people of Virginia, because every pair of boots on the ground there takes you further away from me here. And sometimes I have to remind myself, like, I am just this mom of 3 kids. Like, I am not an army. Like, I am not Putin. I'm like a mom with 3 kids who told the truth quite a lot. That's it. And that you have to kind of remind yourself, you have to bring sanity to yourself sometimes, because it could all get a little too crazy otherwise. Yes, yes, and then yes, yes.
Okay. Really, first of all, you're a warrior mom.
Oh.
I'm kind of confused. How did it become so insane with the radical Islam? Because everyone really coexisted for quite a while. Like, I remember even living in New York. You could have a mosque, you could have a temple, you could have all these things, but there was no problem. What created that, even what's coming here?
Yes.
How did it become that insane?
Yes, it's become like the reason our problem in terms of the Islamist Muslim majority has become so insane. There is a melting pot thing here. It works perfectly. Many of us know lovely Muslim friends that we get along perfectly with. But when it becomes such that there is a massive majority, and when they all choose to live in the same space, and suddenly there isn't a melting pot, there's no diversity. In the town we have, Savile Town, it's 98% Muslim. I've been there. I've suddenly doubled the percentage of whites, non-Muslim whites in the area just by being there. 98% means suddenly it becomes more intense.
So it can radicalize
It
easier?
radicalized faster. Suddenly you've got Sharia actually patrolling, not police. Now you've got the Muslim Police Association, the Muslim Housing Association, and now things that happen. So this happened recently. A lady ran out on fire in the middle of the day into the middle of the road, screaming, "Help me, help me." A guy ran out of the garage, his garage, was throwing water, and she was just alive, and the scorch marks on the grass, I can't tell you. And at that time, a message went out at a local mosque to say, good Muslims, don't ask what's happened to a sister. This was not a hate crime. Good Muslims don't gossip. And the police put out a report saying there were no suspicious circumstances. And that's what happens when you get a densely packed Muslim population. There is a new set of laws and order so that you start setting on fire your own family members if they disappoint you, and there's no suspicious circumstances. And I guess we also bring back the worst. We brought back jihadis into our country. We had when Soleimani was brilliantly nuked off the face of the earth by your brilliant president, our Islamic Centre for England held a vigil for Soleimani, and there were thousands, the footage is out there of people, and the messaging was, we all want to be like Soleimani, we all want to follow Soleimani to Allah, the path to Allah is true. That's on the streets of the UK. So then you ask, why have we got a problem? And that's what you're seeing happening in Minnesota. The next Muslim candidate, and the next but funded by money coming in from outside the state. You see that they are smart, and before you even realise what they've done, the scaffolding, the infrastructure is all in place.
It's called Takia, right? Takia.